Hello, everyone. Welcome to From A to Zoe. I'm your host, Zoe Robinson. I have a wonderful guest on with me today. Dirty, go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone.
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to even be on here with you. I am Boy Dirty, the protege of the legendary rap group, the Two Live Crew, and the CEO of the infamous, world famous Block Runners Entertainment.
Absolutely. Okay, so I want to get right into this. I'm going to have some information down below streaming. Please go check out Black Runners Entertainment on TikTok. Dirty goes live every evening around 9:15 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And there's also information down there so that you can go to the website, submit your music so that it can be played during his live streams. Okay, now that we've got the logistics over, sir, thank you so much. This is a privilege for you to be on my show, and I really appreciate your time. Okay, we're gonna get right down and dirty into it. In 2000, in the 2000s, what made you say, I think it's time for me to start a record label?
Just looking at the culture, coming out of the lineage of the Two Live Crew and watching everything that Fresh and Marquise was doing, they was always telling me, "Hey, man, it's time to pay it forward." I always give people, other artists, an opportunity, like they gave us an opportunity. So my biggest thing was watching my mother in gospel because she was so huge in gospel and doing what she did and how many lives she touched. I said I would love to be able to experience that and do that and touch and mold other lives into the music industry.
So, speaking of gospel, every Sunday you have a gospel section of your live show. Only on Sundays you play gospel music, you have gospel singers on. Tell me what got you started with doing gospel music on Sundays.
I mean, I've been doing hip hop so long, but I was raised doing gospel. Like I started playing the drums for the Gospel Warriors, the Southern Tones, and watching my mother. When somebody tell me I can't do something, and I get all the negative feedback, I tell them I can because doing 29 years in the military, I've never been told that I can't do anything. So I always tell people that when they tell me no, I say yes, and I make sure I get it done.
Yeah, yeah. So, I love the gospel section. I love tuning into the live, and thank you for having me on your panels as well. The gospel portion is really energetic. It brings back a lot of wonderful memories of going to church with my father and my mother. And so I have to thank you for that. There is a lot of really great artists on. So if you are a gospel singer, a gospel musician, a gospel entertainer, and you are watching this show, please tune in to Block Runners Entertainment on TikTok Live on Sundays, Sunday evenings, because you really need to be on the show. You need to be submitting your music, get your music out there. Okay, so
Absolutely.
thank you. What does Block Runners represent?
Block Runners is I want to bring an entertainment, a whole cultural entertainment, because I believe in no matter where you go in the world, somebody claim they run their block or they run their hood. So I want to get into gospel, R&B, Southern soul. So I want to do everything. I want to get back to what music was. It was an entertainment of a whole entertainment company, so we can teach and give artists another opportunity and know they're not after me.
Right. So you started 2 labels when you first got started, 2 separate labels. You had Badass Music Group
Correct.
and Block Runners. So what's the strategy behind 2 having 2 labels, and what made you decide to consolidate them?
Well, Badass was a production company and a writing company. I wrote for so many artists and produced for so many artists, and back in the day, and a lot of people was familiar with Badass. And then after that, I just said it was time to put the labels together and just join something together and make people get excited about it. So
Mhm.
I thought it was perfect time.
Okay. Yes. So speaking of that, and we're talking about the writing and the production company, but you have distribution through Def Jam Digital, right? And SUGO Music Group.
So that
Um,
was initially, yeah, that initially when we first started. But
mhm.
I shout out with guys, and now I'm with Empire and GME for full distribution. So that's why
Awesome.
we stepped up a little bit, and just recently we're getting ready to make a big announcement at Christmas time. I just picked one of the major powerhouses, and now they're backing me. So I went to one of the big granddaddies to come and help us out.
Okay. So starting with Def Jam and SUGO Music Group, that kind of opened doors for you for other partnerships.
Correct.
Okay. So in your business model, you really talk about fairness, transparency, and excellent service. I want you to expand on that for everyone and what that means and what does that look like whenever you're dealing with an artist?
Yeah. So transparency for everything is the most important thing for me. With artists, what you have to do, you have to understand that your face and your word is the only thing you have in this business, and you have to prepare yourself for what people want to hear. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth in this business, so you have to prepare yourself for excellence. So I want artists to always know not only you have talent, but you have to be your talent can only take you so far in this industry, but it's your person, who you are as the person. So I want all artists to be able to teach the whole business. You got to know the whole business. You can't only know part of it.
Knowing the whole business is extremely important, and I want to hit on that a little bit more because a lot of artists don't understand that their music is a business. And to get started, you really have to start talking to labels. And how do you start talking to like black runners?
You was cutting in and out a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. How does an artist get started with talking to a record company like Black Runners Entertainment?
I mean, with anything, knowing the business is making sure that you have your paperwork together. But I always tell artists, you have to create a story first. When you create a story, that's what draws the attention of any label. You create a story, you create a buzz, you make sure you have, a great publicist like yourself, people that can be in the industry that can speak for you. You can't do everything on your own. You got to be able to do things in a way that people can acknowledge and see what you're doing. So it's all about creating a story. If you have a story, people gravitate to stories. Record labels look for who you are and can they invest in you? Can you be a star or you just somebody that just making music for people to play around in your hometown? And that's all you want to do. People, and when you invest in something, I look for overall artists. For me, with Block Runners, I look for artists that not just your talent, but how are you as a person? Philanthropy wise, how are you as a person? Do you know how to handle yourself? Do you know how to speak to people? Most people
Mhm.
will get out here and just talk to people any kind of way and then don't do it and don't do the right things. But it's so awesome that I open those doors like what Fresh always told me, give people opportunity to show you who they are. And that's what it's about for me. And that's how they can get the attention of me, being a complete artist, not just a writer, producer, stuff, but being a human being person for me count.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, a lot of artists, especially now, don't understand that building relationships with other business professionals, not just in the entertainment industry, but also local government, going out to local businesses, getting involved in the schools, doing volunteer work. All of that kind of builds a whole picture around who you are as an artist. So I want
Correct.
to I want to ask you, what is your A&R process like? Can you walk us through that?
Well, I got a team of A&R, so what I do is for me it's development. Development is the number one key thing for me is finding an artist because we don't have the Whitney Houstons, the Michael Jacksons, the Princes anymore. So we want to develop an artist and find an artist that have natural pure talent that's willing to learn. I don't deal with the artists that already know everything. Because if you know everything, I can't help. I want to be able to help the ones that want to be helped and the ones that want to be educated. Knowing that and having the education part of it is very important to me. So I make sure that my A&Rs know that on developing an artist, that is the number one key thing is making sure that they are teachable and they're ready to learn the business because this business is not easy.
Um, yes, I absolutely believe that artists have to be aware of what they want and what they're going to get out of the relationship before they even approach someone for a professional contract, right? So if somebody, let's say somebody is just tuning into your TikTok live, right? And they've sent in music for review.
Uh,
What are you listening for with that artist beyond just the outside? What kind of piques your interest whenever you're listening to music?
the
Just
overall when I'm listening to music, I'm overall listening for your your I'm listening for somebody that got a story and a brand that they're looking to. As for me, every artist is like a product on the shelf, but to make sure that we can get you to the masses quickly. So when I listen for music, I listen for everything. The mix has to be number one for me. The mix quality has to be everything. Not only the mix, but the writing of the song, the production. Because I always tell artists that you can mix a record good, but if the record is not if the record is not mixed right, it can hurt your record. So you never
mhm.
want to do that where to hurt your record at all. I'm walking into the building, but yeah, if you don't, you never want to hurt your brand at all.
You're absolutely right. So on that note, based off of the sound of their music, what would it take for you to invest in an artist and to sign an artist versus someone that you'll just say, "Nah, I can't work with you."
The branding and making sure that we can get to maximize the best out of their talent. So for me, it's everything. Like once I hear the music, and then that's why I do like even on our spotlights, I spotlight artists. I talk to artists and I see how artists talk to other people and other individuals. If they can talk to other individuals good, then that's the best thing for me is finding somebody that knows how to speak and is eloquently where they with their music speak for their music, and then when the music speaks for them, it kind of matches. Some people will come on there and they speak very highly, and their energy is so perfect, and you'll love the conversations. They answer all the questions right. And then when you
Mhm.
play their music, it's act like they've never been in the studio before. And then you're trying to figure out, well, where you get what happened. So I try to find artists that it grabs me. I can get music grabs me from the moment I hear it. There's certain artists that captivates me, and that's what music does. Music is a feeling. We got to get back to feeling again. Like if you can emotionally feel something and be like, I know where I was when I heard this record. I know where I was, and this record made me feel this way. We don't have that anymore. So what we're going to do, I'm gonna take the word trying out. What we're going to do
Mhm.
is breathe life back into our culture and not death. So many people are dying senselessly over these songs, and they're
Yes.
not understanding that we have to breathe that the life back. It's never been a time where I looked at the Billboard charts and I don't have anybody in hip hop or R&B in the top 40. So that kind of worries me, and then I'm saying we get number one AIs and number one computer people.
Yes.
Everybody's job is
Yes.
getting taken over. They have a AI A&R. Like you don't know the feeling of what we do. So how can you be a computer and say that's what it is? But if people accept it, they accept it. So I know
Right.
we trying to grow with the time, but it's also this music is about feeling. Like if you
Mhm.
can make somebody feel something, when you listen to R&B and you in love, that's a feeling. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Now, you don't even know if they know what love is anymore. Some of the R&B songs that come out, so you're just like,
Yes.
okay. So we got to try to bring it back. Like I've watched people on my live come on and literally sing, and people cry, and they can't believe it because that's a feeling. It's bringing back some emotions out of people. So that's what I want to continue to do with the brand and with Block Runners is to create something that people can be excited about, and then everybody can have something to be proud about.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're doing a great job at that, just from what I've seen for the past few weeks that I've been on your TikTok lives, and then talking to your A&Rs and your other publicists. Um, I highly encourage every artist who is watching this on YouTube, please go to Block Runners Entertainment. Please submit your music. And then join the live so that you all can talk to these industry professionals for free.
Talk to them.
Please talk to them, get some education.
Yeah,
Okay, so speaking of feelings, I want to talk about the change from having physical records to streaming services, because we've seen a lot of artists losing a lot of money
correct.
through these streaming services. So Spotify and other streaming services have certain rates that they pay out. I think Tidal is the highest at 0.013, and then
Mhm.
Deezer has the lowest at 0.0011.
Yeah,
And it takes, I mean, it takes thousands of streams to even get $20,
yeah.
right? And today I saw a couple of artists online talking about removing their whole discography off of streaming platforms and going to services like Bandcamp to sell their music. They've said, even if I get 20 people to invest $1 in purchasing my music, that's more than I'll make on streaming services. So what do you feel about artists going back to selling records, CDs, using Bandcamp, versus being on a streaming service or selling their music directly?
First of all, about time, about time. And then number two, it's always to do direct to consumer. It's always to get directly to your fans because a lot of people don't know you can have all these streaming things. I had an artist tell me the other day, it was funny. It was like, "Oh, I looked on Spotify and I got more streams than you on Spotify." I said, "Go look at the downloads. How many albums did I sell?" She was like, "You got 250,000." I said, "So you got a participation trophy to me having a real trophy. So you can't compare your little 3,000 streams to me actually somebody 250,000 people actually went out and bought the record versus
Right.
them just listening to you. They listen to you. They can skim your record. That's what I look at streaming as. To me, it's just a participation trophy. You're not really making no money out of it. Streaming was built when COVID hit, and a lot of artists fail to realize they was already trying to tune up to it, but they were trying to figure out a way to do it. That was just a way for them to make money off of artists, and while the artists couldn't tour during COVID and stuff. So they said, "Hey, let's try streaming," and of course it went over there. But with anything, a lot of people think it helps, but I feel like it hurts an artist because you can't find. There's nobody really selling records no more. Like, where's the platinum records? People getting excited about, oh, I did 300 million streams. How much money did you get from that? Because by the time the distributor get his cut, by the time your publicist and then your publicity and they cut that check now, you'll probably walk out of there with probably $18,000. So you got a participation trophy. So
Yeah.
why do you really care about that versus artists that doing direct to consumer? They can take an album and sell it for $1, and then if they sell 1,000 CDs at $1, they got their money.
$1,000.
So they
Yeah.
made the money. And they don't have to worry about paying this person, that person. As long as they get it back. I wish they would go back to the time when people get excited to buy CDs. There's still stores, and shout out to all the direct to consumer stores that's still out there selling CDs, selling the albums, making it possible for the artist to walk in and go in there and get their music played because we got to get back to that.
Yes, I totally agree. There's several local artists here that they have put out pre-order links, and I've gone on and I've purchased their albums. I've gone on to they send me their Bandcamp. I've gone on and paid anywhere from $5 to $20 for their songs and their albums. I don't mind spending the money. Of course, I'm a music enthusiast, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy the music because I want to keep it for myself. But I do pay for a streaming service, and I did my research, and I pay for Tidal. So I have music on Tidal, but I also go out and buy the music physically because what's going to happen if this thing stops working one day?
There it
I
is.
still want to have my music, right?
There it is. Yeah.
So I certainly appreciate all of you artists who do direct sales. Please, by all means, send me your links because I'll buy your music if I like it, of course. Okay, so speaking of like artists and streaming and um our current entertainment environment, what do you feel that artists need to do differently to stay dominant across the globe, not
Um,
just in the United States?
you have to. It's seven keys of being successful, and you got to find all seven of your keys to be able to open every door to be able to be globally. You know what I'm saying? Again, it goes back to how you talk to people, your personality, how you carry yourself as a man or a woman when you're in the limelight. You can't think you're better than everybody else. You can't think this because you can lose a lot of fans that way, but you can also gain a lot of fans by being humble, being and having some type of personality. Because if your record, yeah, like I always tell artists, your record can get you here, but
Mhm.
who you are can take you out of there. Because there's some artists right now that can't make another or buy another hit record, but they're still on top of the chain because everybody loves them as a person. Get
Yeah.
into TV, get into acting, get into movies, find other niches that makes people excited to be around you. Um, I do everything. When I lost my girls and their mother got killed in a car accident, I started a foundation so we can give back. Every year we give back 1,600 book bags to we find kids that we make sure every child will have something to go to school with. Um, Next year we just teamed up with Office Depot, so we're going to be doing 20,000 book bags across America. So we're going to try to do that to make people come out, no matter where you at in your market, come out, get excited about it. Make sure people have what they need for school, and it's important to me because my mother was education was everything to her. So I just want to keep
Yeah.
her legacy alive and keep going.
Yeah. That is wonderful. I sit on the board of a nonprofit, and I really believe in philanthropy and volunteerism and giving back to our community, especially. Um, so thank you for that. And artists, please listen. You need to be out in your communities. You need to be involving yourself in philanthropy and volunteering, volunteering at an animal shelter, volunteering at a homeless shelter, volunteering at a children's school. Make sure your backgrounds are clean. Make sure you understand that getting out into your community is one of the greatest ways for you to give back. There's a tax benefit to it as well if you're structured as a business entity professionally, like you should be, which is why you should be speaking to people like Dirty. So speaking of like being a global influence, like how does Block Runners Entertainment help artists fit into that global aspect of their music?
Again, like I said, go back to development. I grab artists and I put them into a structure. It's like
Mhm.
3 to 6 month camp where you put people in and you teach them everything. Not I put them in writing class, teach them in media class. You know what I'm saying? So they know how to handle themselves when they're doing interviews and talking to people, as well as performance, which is the number one thing for me. Your
Yes.
performance is everything because a lot of artists get on stage now, they rap on top of their music. They take 3,000 people on stage. Nobody know who the rapper is. They want the crowd to rap the song. They just want to dance there and look crazy, but not really putting on the show. I want to
Mhm.
bring the showmanship back to the entertainment field. So if I can do that, I take artists through certain artists. We'll put on development and get them to the point where they're ready. And then those artists that's ready, I'm going down hope with them. You have to do media runs, you have to do press releases, and that's what I'm currently doing right now. I can't tell artists, this is what you got to do if they don't see me do it. So I'm
Right.
currently on media runs. They see me traveling. I'm in somebody else's state, every other weekend. I'm constantly moving around because you can't sit at home to try to be in this business. You got to get everywhere to be global and spread your brand out. Sponsorships are key.
Mhm.
Shout out to my sponsors like Body Armor, and I'm the ambassador for HHU, which is Hope House University, which they give back to the Caribbean nations and stuff like that. So it's a lot that you have to do. And it's those 7 keys. When you get those 7 keys, you'll feel it. And then you ain't gonna be able to stop doing what you need to do to, give it forward. So that's the type of artist I'm looking for. The artist that knows their 7 keys so they can unlock the doors themselves.
Thank you for that. So speaking of artists you're looking for, that means that you're going to be expanding, right? Or you are currently expanding. So you operate as one company with many offices across 8 core markets. How are you currently expanding Block Runners Entertainment?
Right now we're currently we're going into, like I said, we already have my gospel division because of my mother. So we just announced that just opened up. So that's JG Music Group. So we're expanding into the gospel market to be able to find gospel artists, as well as I'm getting into rock. We have Block Rock, which one of my partners, he's in Denver, Colorado. We're doing straight rock, and then we got country, of course, Southern soul, and then Block Runners is that hip hop. But how we're expanding it globally is now we're getting into television and film. So now we're
Oh,
getting into movies where you can write scripts, and I have a great team with me. Miss Marilla, she's out of Atlanta, so we're doing a lot to get into TV and film. Hence the word entertainment. And then eventually, I'm going to get back into what our coach's mission is: the fashion, branding yourself, getting clothes, as well as getting into sports and stuff. Where we have 2 of my A&Rs, they run a talk sports show that they do right now currently, and I have a youth football league that I started that I'm really going to really gear back up into 26, and it's the Block Runners Youth Sports Academy. What I do is for kids that don't have nowhere to go after school, they're going to have a program where they can come do their homework and they get on the field and practice, and the girls can go out there and chill, do whatever they want to do. But I'm doing a little twist. So a lot of these sports places have the NFL teams
mhm.
as the kids they want to play. They want to play like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, I'm gonna do something different. I'm an alumni from Florida A&M, so I'm gonna do it where the little kids are dressed up in all of the HBCUs.
Oh,
They're going to look like Fam, Bethune, Jackson State, Clark, Atlanta, and they're dressed up like that, and they're going out and playing because that we have to give back to our community. Our HBCUs
mhm.
need it. So those
Yes.
things that we're going to be expanding. 26 is going to be great. I'm just currently we're I'm making sure we have the right staff to handle people. Diversity is everything for me. I kind of switched the game up. I'm putting women in power because that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I know women move everything, so I'm putting women in power, and it's going to be a very diverse company. I don't want you to think that all he does is rap. Nah, I wasn't raised like that. We're doing gospel, and that's the reason why I get a little pushback every once in a while, but I keep pushing
Mhm.
because God tell me to move a certain way, and that's how I move. So on Sundays when they push, I turn the music up a little bit louder. So it is what it is. That's what we're here for.
Yes. So your Sunday show is empowering. It's energizing, and I appreciate it so much. So, are you doing sync placements also for artists?
Absolutely, we're doing sync
Okay.
placement. That's the reason why we want to get into the television and all that stuff. So we'll be doing a lot of sync placements, getting the artists what they need because a lot of artists, I tell artists, and we're creating a writing core. That's what it is. To actually have a writing team and a production team,
Hmm.
team of producers, team of writers that can help artists and their write song. Because everybody can write, but people might need help, and that might be the help that they needed in. Because a lot of artists get out here, they're afraid to sign to labels that the CEO is an artist. Well, I'm
Hmm.
gonna change that point because like I put people in power enough that they speak. My whole team know who I am. I don't run around saying, "Yeah, I'm the CEO. I'm this. I'm that." I don't do all that. I let the people move, and I've been in the military so long. I've been taught to watch, so I watch how people move, and I
Yeah.
let people move a certain way, and then we create a power. Because I was always raised on you got five fingers, but if you ball them up, you got one fist. If you strike the first time, that's all you have to do. You don't have to keep trying to hit back over and over. So I want to punch the first time and kind of wake up the industry. So I challenge all the other record labels. I done told like before I sat down with a couple of the major powerhouses when we had our meetings. I said, you walk me in the office and then you tell me what's my numbers and my algorithms. But
Mhm.
let's make a point. We're so focused on, oh, we got to get likes on Instagram and on Facebook and TikTok and all this other stuff. But you still can't put butts in the seat. That's what we need. When you go into these arenas, you got 3 million followers, and you tell me only 30 people show up for your show.
Yes.
How does that make you a superstar?
It
So
not at all.
So we got to get back. We have to get back to creating the intensity, the hype. People want to get
Mhm.
excited to see. Yes, they still go to concerts, but I don't want you going to concerts to worry about you walking out the concert. You got to get shot at because somebody else got beef with this other person and this person got
Right.
beef with that person. We come at the. You're supposed to go to concerts to unwind from a long week. You worked
Mhm.
your behind off to buy those tickets to take your girl out, to take your boo out, whatever. You want to go out and enjoy what you listen to, and that's music. Music is supposed to be something that take us away from all the stress and
Mhm.
all the pain. And if you, like I tell people, if you lost somebody that you knew that somebody was with you last year that's not here this year, that's going into the new year, it's very important to have something like music to take you through it. Because music can be a song that make you laugh. That I remember when me and my cousin we did this, and now my cousin ain't here no more. But it can lift a burden that's on your heart. So it's
Mhm.
important to me that I challenge all labels that if you can continue to do the AI thing, everybody is good, but I'm going back to there's a core people out there that want to be able to touch their fans again and touch their artists again. So I'm going after those people, while everybody else forget about the people that's really craving the music. That's who we're going after. That's the reason why we say block runners, we the streets, because we everywhere.
You're on the street. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so when it comes to understanding how to protect music, where do you see the biggest mistake that these young artists are making?
Well, they're going into the game a little backwards. They're going into it. All right. First of all, artists will go into a studio and then they'll record a song in 20 minutes to think that they got a hit record. That's not
Mhm.
making records no more. And then two, they don't know the business. They still mailing their song back to their stuff and saying their record is copyrighted. Nobody want to invest into what it takes to make sure your song is copyrighted. Make sure it's coded, BDS coded and stuff like that. I get tons and tons of records sent to me every day that says track one, track two, track three. An artist don't take the time to code their record. So when you send it to an exec, they know who it is. How do you expect someone to play your record when they don't know who you are? Because once
Yeah.
it comes out of that email, it's just a wave. And when you play it, how do you know who it is? Unless you actually know the artist or you're talking to them one on one. So when we do events like what we do with Block Runners as a team, we bring artists up there. I let them talk. I let them get a chance for people to get to know them. So that's the most important thing. I want a lot of people don't know that that's a big way to find out who's your next superstar is to
Mhm.
talk to them. So a lot of artists fail on their business and not having their business correct. So if they don't have their business correct, I don't really talk to them. I really don't play their music because when they ask me to play their music, I say if it's not copyrighted, I don't want to play it because if somebody take your record, then you're gonna be coming back to me and say, "Oh, with Dirty Out, you played my record." Nah, you sent it and you didn't have it protected. So artists, please, whatever you do, make sure before you submit your music to any label, before you submit your music out to anybody, make sure you have your songs copyrighted, coded. Make sure you have everything that's protected, that you're ready to go. And please, please, please make sure your records are mixed because a mix can help and it can hurt you.
Mixed by someone who knows what they're doing.
Absolutely.
'Cause
Absolutely.
man, I have heard some mixes from some artists, and there's my friends, Spaceship Oasis and DJ Lady J Rock, they have the Wild Out Radio Show, and
Uh-huh.
they play new
Yep.
music all the time every week.
Yes, they
And
do.
have you seen them?
No, no, I seen it one time, but they play music. But yeah, I try to focus on when we're. I try to focus on. I like when they do that, but I try to focus on what we got going on to keep things fresh because
Yeah.
I really believe on being a to set trends and not and follow them. And you
Mhm.
know, being a leader and not being a follower is key for me. So I try to do things different. Like again, when it goes back to the gospel, you don't know the countless of emails I got. Oh, you do rap? That's sacrilegious. You doing this? You shouldn't be doing that. I've been beaten down by the best, and I don't say nothing. But I want the world to know on your platform as well as I tell everybody, you can come at me all you want to. I'm still um blessed by God and the way God moves me. I'm a man of God, so you just have to come. You're gonna attack anyway, so just know that I'm war ready. I've been war ready. So let's
Mhm.
go.
Right. Um, I've seen I've seen artists get upset
Yeah,
that they get critiqued about their mixes. They get critiqued about the way that they sing. Um, so, how do you feel about artists getting not only vocal lessons, but also um, having some maybe like some Toastmasters training, some public speaking training?
yeah. Yeah, I'm with all of that. That's the part of
Yeah.
the development that I want to bring back because it done got this AI done got so ridiculous. I had
Ooh,
two artists.
yeah.
I ain't gonna say their name because I don't want to put them out there. But I had
Mhm.
two artists so afraid of their self that they created a whole version of somebody else. I created an AI song, submitted it. I've been playing the record, and then we found out that they was not who they say they were. And I'm like, if you think that that's how you're gonna be successful in this business, that's you're barking up the wrong tree. But when I'm talking about creating and education is everything, development is everything. So whatever we got to do to help these artists to get them to the next level, that's what we're going to do. You know, I picked I prayed about it, and then God brought it to me because I asked Him to remove everything that's around me that shouldn't be around me before you give me the tools that I need to be successful. And then I
Mhm.
woke up one day, and then He gave me. He always people always say, "Oh, you need radio, you need this, you need that." He ended up giving me a young lady by the name of Sadie Starr. She's over at Soul 106 in Chicago, which is she's a big radio personality. So
Mhm.
we went there. That's what God said go first, and we built the relationship strong enough where she was like, well, "What you doing? Let's take off." She brought me to Chicago and created so much noise in Chicago that it woke up my record label. And then they was like, "Oh, what you got going on? What you got going on?" And then from there, I trusted her judgment, and I said, "Go." Then she went to, well, let me pick this person, and to bring them to you. And then we started building the team. And then I was blessed to meet from interviews people like King Jacob and Iconi, and talking to people and learning them and learning
Mhm.
we all have the same type of goal and the vision to be successful in this business. So I felt like that's what I really wanted to do. And I just built a wonderful team with her, and the pieces every day just keep adding. We
Mhm.
keep getting the right people for the job because I don't want to sign an artist and being an artist. What record labels can't understand is they don't know how artists feel because they're not artists.
Mhm.
So you don't know how it feels to be hungry, to know that you want to do something to take care of your family. You don't know how you want to get your music heard. And, you know, you've been criticized. You know what I'm saying? I came up under a group that was banned from music. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? They
Yes.
was like, what we said was too raunchy, too sexually explicit, and all that stuff, but it was a part of the culture. So when I came back, they say, "Oh, boy, dirty, boy, dirty." They always read the book, on the cover before they read the book. And they're like, oh boy, Dirty Nasty. And this is, I say, what Dirty stands for, don't underestimate real talent. You heard. I've been
Right.
that way. So
Yeah.
I flip the whole game. I take something negative and always make it positive. When you tell me I can't do something, I go and do it. And that's what it's about. I want artists to have that same drive. So I can't be an effective leader if I don't get out there and do the things that I preach. If I don't get out there and keep my face clean and speak well in conferences and do things that I need to do to raise the capital and be able to hold such a conglomerate that we put together as a family over here, and that's what I
Mhm.
believe in. I don't believe in employees. Like Sadie, like she's one of my head executive people, and she'll tell you I have a problem with the word assistant. I don't have assistants. I have people that do their job. So call them a director of this or direct. We got to come up with names. I don't believe in assistants, and I don't
Yeah.
have fans. I've created family. So
Yeah.
when we're on, that's my family. Like, you know what I'm saying? The families fight, but a real family can fight and come back together.
That's
But if
right.
they fight and they can't come back together, they never was your family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to create, all family thing. So I'm excited about what we got going on and what 26 is about to bring.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see it. So speaking of you, sir, and your leadership, your 29-year military career. Now, I don't want to focus too much on it because you're retired. Thank you for
Yeah.
your service.
Yeah.
I certainly understand the sacrifices that you made for the military. My husband's also retired military, so I get it. But in your capacity as a record company CEO, as a label, your principles show up, those types of because you can't get rid of that. Those
Yeah.
military principles show up when you're working with a young artist. So how do you help them make good decisions versus what you see out in the media with like the Mo 3 incident and him getting shot and killed, and a lot of these other young successful rappers and musicians getting shot and killed for making bad decisions? How do you steer these artists away from that?
So what I do is again, it's family oriented for me and based. So when I find a young artist, like with anybody, I let you have the freedom to move because again, observation is everything. I observe how you are. If I know that you ain't this bully that you're trying to portray on your song, then we're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk about it and be like, hey, listen, I understand what you're trying to sell, but they're already doing that. They're sent here they already position us to be clones. Like when you
Mhm.
listen to the radio station, every artist that come on there sound the same.
Yes.
Everybody got to be. You got to sound like Lil Baby. Or if you're not like Lil Baby, you're not famous enough. Oh, you got to sound like Ludacris. If you
Yeah.
don't be like Ludacris, you're not famous enough. So
Mhm.
they then broke it down to you are A-lister or a C-lister to be in this what we call music industry. You know what I'm saying? But if you walk in the industry already as an A-lister, I don't need you to tell me what letter in the alphabet I am. I know I'm an A-lister because I'm
Mhm.
God's child. You can't tell me what letter I am because who are you to tell me what letter I am? You got your job the same way I got my job. We're both here to work and we're both here to
Mhm.
get something done. Your
Mhm.
job is to make sure you feed the right report out to the industry. My job is to give the industry what they need to live. So I tell artists you have to be so prepared for this business and just know how to speak to people. It's
Yeah.
who you are and
Yeah.
commanding over 2,900 men and women. I deal with so many different personalities, and like my team always tell me, "Oh, you got to rest," and then I let the world get on my back and on my shoulders because I've been used to that my whole life, and
Mhm.
it's so stressful. But I get to a point where I vent, but you never want to have so much weight on you that you explode on your loved ones because
Right.
it's pressure because everybody pulls at you and pulls at you. And the question I always tell people when you're running a company, if you're pouring into people every day of your life, And at the end of the night, while everybody's sleeping, who do you have to pour into? Who can you pour into? Who can
Who
pour into
can
you?
who can pour into you? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to have somebody to have that release that you
Yeah.
trust,
Yeah.
that you know that's gonna have your back 100%. I I t I t I get that.
Yeah.
I've hit that point in my career, being a federal employee, let alone running my own business as a publicist, and working with and communicating with a plethora of people, for my private business. But work has gotten it's stressful, it's pressure, because my job duties have expanded, my pay hasn't, kind of
Yeah.
a thing. So I get it. So speaking of that, what is one of the hardest conversations that you've had to have with an artist?
Um, I think the hardest is knowing that they have to be committed to this business. Artists always come in and say, "Oh, they need they see what they see on TV." So the industry um, we have the game so twisted. So let me talk to the youth that will listen, in the industry that will listen.
Mhm.
What you see on TV ain't real. 95% of your artists are broke.
Yes.
That is prop money. They own the movies. They throwing the money up. They doing that to sell you, and they get your mind because they know our youth attention span is shorter than we were.
Mhm.
So the conversations they be always come with money, and they be like, "Oh, well, I need $1 million." All right. Well, let me ask you something. How many records did you sell before you came to me and asked me for $1 million? What value do you have besides me creating the buzz? Because I'm going to have to invest money into you. And
Yes.
artists make the mistake of not knowing it. The more money you take from labels is the more money you have to pay back.
You have to pay back. Yep.
Will come to me and they like, oh man, you got it. You can do it, Dirty. I said, man, everything I get, I know it's a debt. It's a debt. When you sign with any of the five giants in the industry, that's a loan. You have to understand that is a loan. You are a guarantor that you have to guarantee you're gonna bring these people their money back. They
Mhm.
believe in you that much, and it's just a loan. A lot of artists don't realize that it's just a loan. They think they're rich. They go out here and buy the cars, the house, the jewelry, and then when they go back and say, "Well, I need some money," then what the record labels do? They pull out this book and they say, "Well, you spent 300,000 on a music video when you could have spent $5,000. Uh, you bought a $2 million house and it's only you and your mama. Who's staying in the house with you? You out here doing all these lavish parties and they charging it to the record label. You ain't
Mhm.
spending no money. They charging it to the record label, and the record labels they're sitting there. They taking it. They taking it, and the more money you take from them, the more money you go own back. So it'd be hard conversations talking to artists about money. Everybody wants to get paid. At the end of the day, everybody wants to get paid. But
Yeah.
are you worth the value that you're asking to be paid? You
Mhm.
have to be able to bring something to the table. You have to. You don't know what it feels to lose anything if you don't have no skin in the game.
Right.
So I tell artists, I'm like, before I got to the point where I'm at, I've seen $1 million go through my left hand, through my right hand. So, and I've wasted money. And you know what I'm saying? When you look up, what do you have to show for it after
Mhm.
30 plus years? Yes, I got records hanging on the wall. Yes, I done did the platinum and I got the gold records hanging on the wall. But what do you have to show for it? Like I open up a recording studio, a print studio. It's 7 keys. You got to keep working. You
Yeah.
got to keep working. And it's just like, because I got tired of hearing the magic word that people say in the industry. Oh, I'll work with you, but what's your budget? What's your resume? You want to know what my budget is? What's your resume? I need to
Mhm.
know what you've done for somebody, because nobody care about what you did in 1988. It's what you're doing right now.
Right.
Because people, they'll hold on to the past in a heartbeat. Oh, I did this, I did that, I did this. I'm like, collectively, by the grace of God, collectively, I've done over 200 million records, and I don't ever tell people about it. But if they
Mhm.
look at all the records, production that I wrote for other people, that they got their platinum records and stuff like that, I just sit back and I thank God because I've done it in gospel and I've done it in R&B and I've done it in hip hop. Now I'm trying to do it in country and I'm trying to do it in rock.
And rock. Yep.
So
Yep.
I want to be an artist that came really physically coming born in Jamaica and came here at a young age and be able to say that I touched every genre of our culture and had some type of effect before I leave this world. So that's why we created Block Runners. And when I mean we, it's the whole team that
Yeah.
people see. It's not me. I tell people it's not me. That's why it's called Block Runners with an S and not Block Runner. If it was only one person running, then yeah, it's just me. But it's Block Runners because I feel like everybody plays a very important part on the success, not only for me, but artists. And then another key part, so artists, if you're submitting music to my A&Rs and team, just know this. How I operate is they'll take your song, but everybody on my staff has to believe in your record. Everybody. Because I want them to push you just as hard as they push me.
Yeah.
I don't care if artists come and sell 30 million records more than me. I'm gonna be so happy. I'm gonna be sitting there like, yeah, which day we going to the bank together? We both
Right.
here. So it don't matter. So, but I'm just excited. I don't lead with the intentions of money. I just know what has to be done, and
Mhm.
that's why I got a great team. Like Sadie, and she's created like great people under her, like um, T Mac and Doc Cedric. And when we do with them, those are like some of the key executives and Michael Jones and Rochelle Maxwell. What I do with them is I say, okay, here, this is what we need to do. This is how we need to make sure the team is taken care of, so the team can take care of these artists.
Mhm.
And then the artists got to do their job. Because just like I got to answer to the big labels that I went after to go get these giants in the machine, because in this industry you got to have that machine.
Yeah.
You can do it independent, but it takes you so much longer.
Yeah.
When you have a machine to kind of open that door for you, then once you open that door, it's follow the leader. If I can open that blueprint for artists, and then they'll see us, and then everybody else will come aboard.
Well, I hope you all are listening. The most difficult conversation to have is about money and keeping your business together. And I have those same difficult conversations with people as a publicist, in entertainment, in politics, because now I'm in politics as well. So we still have those same conversations no matter what you are working in. Um, Thank you for that. I just have a couple more questions left. Okay. And these are gonna kind of fun ones. Okay. Who is your most favorite singer to listen to?
My most favorite singer. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, it would be Leandra Grimes, the gospel singer, because she reminds me so much of my mother when I hear her voice. My mother was my all-time favorite, but she's not here. But Leandra, and then it's funny, she might kill me if she watched the interview. My executive is actually Sadie is my favorite person here. Say she get mad when she because she can sing. She just don't want to sing. When I first heard her sing, I said, "I'm putting you on a song," and she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Yeah." You know, so she being in radio, but that's one of my favorite singers right there. But I know, but with all seriousness, it's Leandro that when she sang that Lord deliver me is something in her soul and her power that convicts me, and that
Yeah.
reminds me of what my mother did. So
Yeah.
I always lean to people like, and I'm so old school on gospel. I reach back to Shirley Caesar, Patti
Uh,
LaBelle, Mahalia Jackson. So I reach
yes.
back to people that when they sing, I get them little chills up my arm.
Yes. I love Mahalia.
Yeah.
Ooh, my father used to listen to gospel music all the time. And I sang in church choir. So I get it. I totally understand what you mean. And
Um,
on top of that, um when you're surrounded by talented people, you
Yeah.
fall in love with their music as well.
Yeah.
Even though they might not want to put anything out or record anything. Yeah, so I'm with you on that. There's been a couple people that I've been around, same thing. I love their voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to harass the people around me because
Mhm.
talent. We always start with iron sharpens iron, and just
Yes.
to when I hear other talented people, it's just like, man, I can't do nothing but want to embrace this person because your talent makes me hungrier. So it's just like they tell me to get my rest, but like my mama used to tell me, and I still follow behind her lead. Uh, I sleep when I die. Yeah,
Right.
ain't dead yet, so y'all got to let me work while I'm here. I need to see everything, but I'm
Yeah.
excited about the family that God has put around me.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate it. One last question. Who is the one person that you know you can't sit next to at a serious event?
Uh, if he was alive, probably Bernie Mac. But being that we alive, I can't sit next to Kevin Hart because I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something because Kevin Hart is stupid. I'm gonna say something because he gonna say something be like I'm gonna be like I'm gonna mess with him and we both gonna get kicked out the event. So now
Yep.
it'll be a hard day. I can't sit next to Kevin because Kevin is funny to me. I can't sit
I
next to
I could see it. That man jokes about every damn thing.
him.
Everything.
Yeah,
Yes. For me, it's my cousin Taisha, especially if we're at a funeral. And it was my cousin Taisha, my cousin Tamika, my cousin Aisha, and then my uncle Tommy.
yeah.
We was sitting and Uncle Tommy was in front and our cousin Sandra was singing. And we were like, who gave her the microphone?
Yeah, yeah.
We just busted up laughing. Yes, at our auntie's funeral. So yeah, it had to be my cousin Taisha.
Yeah, well, I'm probably that one at a funeral. I'm probably the one that caused problems.
Yeah.
I'll be around here singing the hymn, let the pastor sing it, everybody in the church laughing at me. Then I'm like, listen, no. Even at my mama's funeral, I was hurt, but I bust out laughing when I heard my aunt behind me. My aunt stood up and was like, "Oh, glory! You beat me to glory." I said, "Man, leave my mama out of this." I said, "My mama wants some people laugh because I know at my funeral when God called me home, I want everybody laughing. Better not be nobody crying because I'm gonna have a video and I'm gonna come on the video. Somebody in here still owe me $7. I'm gonna be cracking jokes the whole time."
Oh Lord, I can see you doing that too.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much for your time, sir. I really appreciate it. This
appreciate
was
it.
a wonderfully enlightening conversation. I hope you artists are paying attention to what he's saying. I hope you play this back a couple of times. And I also hope you reach out to Block Runners Entertainment. Go to blockrunnersentertainment.com. Um, I will have all of his information to all the social media links, the website down in the captions below. So please go click on everything, like, share, and subscribe to this channel, my channel from A to Zoe. I'm your hostess, Zoe Robinson. Thank you, Dirty. I really appreciate your time, and I can't
Thank you.
wait to be on the live tonight.
Absolutely, I'm ready.
All right. Thanks.